shoulder contact technique can be used offensively or defensively. Okay? I'm taking on a collision which is at such high speeds that I don't want to use my hands. We're always going to have a designated gap responsibility, whether it's where the ball is entering or whether it's where I'm responsible for defending. Okay? So we're always going to have that offset. So we're always going to be shoulder, head to a particular side similar to our defensive leverage, but it's going to be based on our responsibility. Okay? So we're offset. We're going to be in our great coil posture. Right? Everything is great. Now the shoulder that we're going to strike with, right, we're going to go ahead and we're going to take that shoulder and we're going to drive it down and in. Okay? So we're in here and I'm going to drive that shoulder down and in. I'm going to create the strike surface, right? It's kind of like we've always talked about tight arms and tackle. I want to activate those muscles around my shoulder girdle, my chest, my trap. I'm going to keep it strong. I'm going to use that as my contact area. I'm going to flex that in. So I'm going to drop that shoulder down and in, okay? Most important point on this is going to be something that we talked about, which is going to be the brace step, okay? So I'm going to widen my foot opposite of where contact is going to come. I want my instep to make a perpendicular line through the center of mass I'm trying to move, right? So as we engage, right, and if I were to be at a more extreme angle, that instep is going to cut different angles through my opponent, okay? So this brace step, with that open as we talked about, is really what's going to give me what? Specifically, what part of my foot? Right? If I want to generate force off on that angle, right, I want my foot oriented so I can drive off the instep on that angle. Does that make sense? I orient my brace foot in the direction I'm trying to push. Okay? Now from here, am I going to still ascend my hip so I can change his posture? Yes, right? So now we get back into some of our tackle things, right? I'm going to use my shoulder to pry him up. So we're going to squeeze into each other, right? We have our brace steps, we can push back, or we push, we can feel, and I'm going to use that, my hips, to try to change his posture and then close the space. So if I were to be coming on a short trap, Brad comes across, I want to be able to come in, brace step, he sees it, he's going to shoulder it, I'm going to push, hips, 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 and then this hand, right, we're going to fit in, which is going to be our finish, right? So I'm probably going to look to get that hip, be able to drive that hip, and move him out of the hole, right? So offensively, most often when we come in, we'll start offset, right? We're going to give ourselves a nice buckle shoulder. We'll go ahead and brace to each other so we feel it. We can squeeze in. Right now we can squeeze up. We can squeeze down. But we're squeezing those hips. We're squeezing those hips. And then if I need movement, I can add that hand to the hip and drive through. And my hips are going to climb. I'm going to raise his body. Buckle technique is both offensive and defensive. It could be a linebacker taking on a lead block. It could be a guy squeezing a pull if you're going to be a squeeze team, right? It could be anybody taking on a lineman who's coming out and trying to send something back, right? I need to be strong in the gap, and I think that this guy running at full speed, my best bet is not to try to play hands with him and get outside, right? I'm going to get there. I'm going to squeeze back in with my brace step so I can fight that sucker. Lead block's coming, right? This dude is coming from, we'll say, 5 yards away. I'm 4 yards deep. We have a great 9-yard run up, and I'm thinking he might collapse those arms. I'm probably going to go ahead, give him buckle. So all we do to teach this, right? We both start in our ear offset. We both get down, right? Buckle, brace step, Then we just squeeze in. And we push off that back foot. So we squeeze, and now we start feeling tension. Right? Feel tension through this outside foot, and then we can release from there. So coach is going to go ahead and lift me and climb. Lift me and climb, beautiful. Right? I want to be able to stay in it and close the climb.
I mean, we've said it was defense or offense, so if you put it in context for a linebacker,
Yes.
we've always taught that flipper, you know, that.
Yeah, the linebackers 100% may use the flipper to generate what we talk about. He wants space. Okay? If I